Hello everyone, I am back with a much better 6/4 chord presentation. I hope you enjoy it. The first thing is that 6/4 chords are much different than first inversion chords. Remember, first inversion chords you can use to spice up a regular progression. They're used in bass arpeggiation and faux bourdons, but 6/4 chords are much more restrictive. They're much more particular. So there's only really three ways that we can use them. Okay, I'm going to read this to you because it's I know it's written here on the screen, but it's so important anyway. The cadential 6/4 is that a tonic 6/4 chord resolves to the 5 chord at the cadence. Okay, a tonic 6/4 chord being a 1/6/4. Used in this manner, the 6/4 chord, and sorry, it looks like 64, is a decoration of the 5 chord. And the bass note is almost always doubled. In fact, it's always doubled. The 5th of the chord. So let's take a look at this example right here. You have a 2/6, a 1/6/4, 5, 1. So if you just look at the bass line for a second, it goes 1/6/4, 5, 1. Okay. Some of you might say, well, isn't this parallel octaves? Actually, it's not, because it doesn't move to a new note. But 1/6/4/5/1, and I also want you to note that, look at this chord here, G, B, and D, just a G major chord. If I take these two notes and just move them down a step, it's essentially, it's a 5 chord. So really, these two notes just want to move down. That's what makes a 1/6/4 chord, a cadential 6/4 chord so different, is that a lot of people just consider these two chords the same chord, with this first chord being a decoration of this chord. Because really, not much is happening here. It's just a way to sort of highlight or anticipate this chord, which is going to resolve to here. Okay? Would you like to listen? Sure. You've heard something like that many, many, many times in your life. Okay? The second one, the passing 6/4. The passing 6/4 acts as a passing tone, a passing chord. Like, that is to say, here's a chord, and here's a chord. This is a 4 chord. This is a 4/6 chord. And this chord that happens in the middle, this little beauty right here, is really just a transition chord. A passing bass may be found between a tonic 6/4 chord and 4 chord and 4/6 chord, or a dominant 6/4 chord, and I'll show you a couple different ways. But look how this one, again, the 6/4 chord just acts as sort of an embellishment. And the key to a passing 6/4 is this. This is how you're going to find them. Between bass notes of a third away, the note in the middle is often a passing 6/4 chord. I'll say that again. Between bass notes of a third away, the note in between can be, and you definitely should look for it, if it's a passing 6/4. Let's take a listen. That's all it is. It's no big deal. It's not a huge amount of effort or energy. The bass note, again, is often doubled, and the bass note in a 6/4 chord is the 5th. Look here again. This is the 5th. It's doubled. This is the 5th. It's doubled. Okay. Let's look at another version of a passing 6/4 chord. Here's a bass note that's a third away, and the chord in between is a passing 6/4. The 5th of the chord is doubled. Okay. And here's just curiously, there's the root, and it goes the whole way through because it's 4 beats. I hope you understand that part. Very simple. Okay. Oops, sorry. Very, very simple. And here's we won't get there yet. Okay. The pedal 6/4. Also known as stationary bass or neighboring tone chords, the bass note, the 5th, is preceded and followed by the same note tone and is placed between two root position triads of the same triad. Two root positions of the same triad. This type also occurs occasionally with a 4/6/4 as well as tonic. The bass note is doubled. Okay, take a look. The best way to think about a pedal 6/4 is this. The same bass note goes across all 3 chords. This bass note goes across all 3 chords. Again, this bass note, even though it's divided into different beats, goes across all 3 chords. Okay, so it comes from the old, not the old, but essentially the system of playing organ, where they would hold a pedal tone and then just improvise on top. You'll notice that this middle chord is essentially, again, just an embellishment of these 2 chords. This note just goes dum, 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 and it suddenly, for one beat, becomes a 4/6/4. This note becomes this, it just goes to a 4/6/4 chord. Same thing here. Let's listen to both of these passages. And it's actually kind of common in rock and roll. You'll hear this kind of movement. Stick a beat behind it and you got a lot of songs. So that is the only 3 ways you can use a 6/4 chord. You cannot randomly use a 6/4 chord any way you like. Okay. Here's the example I showed the other day about a 6/4 chord, which is bass arpeggiation, but you won't be using that a whole lot, but it does exist. Again, that's not one you're going to employ, but you might want to just be able to say, oh yeah, I understand that in a bass can sometimes in a root position go to 1/6/4, then 1/6, then 1. But you're not going to be composing that a lot. Here's this cadential 6/4 again. I want to point out a few things to you and maybe see if you can see it too. First of all, the bass line is the same. That's the whole point of cadential 6/4. It shares the same bass as the 5 chord here. The 5th is doubled. The motion is stepwise. Look how it's just a resolving thing. Okay. Let's just take a quick listen. That's it. That's your 1/6/4/5/1. Let's take a look here. Oh, here's our pedal 6/4. Shall we listen again? Sure. And here's the 5th being doubled, or here's the the bass being doubled, if you like. Here again is the bass being doubled in the 6/4 chord. And I don't mean the bass being doubled in the root. I mean it is in the root, the first chord as well. But anyway, here we go. Take a listen. Oh, that was fun, wasn't it? Okay, now let's take one quick review of the pedals, or excuse me, the passing 6/4. Here's a bass a third away, and here is the middle chord that is just coming through it. And again, look at all the motion of these notes is stepwise. It's very, very simple. Okay. I hope that helps. I'm going to do some homework with you as well.